Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Come On, Sis. I have to be honest. I'm not actually aware of how much action men and women get these days. But there's a way to find out. There is a way to find out. And it's not by asking every person, how much action do you get on a daily basis? Because let's face it, there's a lot going on in society that might keep one from focusing on getting it in, Plainly put, having sex. And it's so simple. The way it seems like society plays out is all you have to do is go get a job, move out of your parents' house, and you have access to every single body in the world as long as you can pay for it. And, well, isn't that the problem right there? Prostitution. Prostitution of the state. Prostitution of your identity. Prostitution of your individuality. Prostitution of your autonomy. Prostitution of your energy, of your sexual energy, and of your time. When you look at it like that, it makes sense why people don't get action. Both men and women alike, but come on, sis. Let's try not to be fair here. Because when you look at me like I can get just as much action as you do, you level a playing field out where no one is playing. All your girlfriends, all your ladies, girls' night out, tea parties, hangovers, and sleepovers. Because when you get old enough and you're not in your parents' house anymore, and you feel like you're safe enough, you could just invite your girls over and you guys could watch Insecure all day. With your popcorn and tea and your snacks and your Uber Eats. Nobody has to cook anything, right? But where are the men? Where are the men who can gel out and hang out with a bunch of girls and make sure that everybody's having a good time? You didn't call them over for protection. You called them over for something else. But you're not prostituting his energy and you're not prostituting his masculinity. Where are the girls who know how to hang out with men without prostituting their masculinity? And when I say where are the girls, I'm asking as in, do girls know how to look out for men that know how to be? Just plain old be around women? Is that a lost art? Or did you fall for the same trap that everyone else did when they found out that all they had to do was move out of their parents' house and get a job? You just assumed that rent is due, and that's all you know. That doesn't sound like a society that's going down the drain. That sounds like a group of ladies hanging out with their girlfriends. But they're not really participating in society. They're not really contributing. And I would ask certain questions, but I'd like to move away from the questions because I just want to go deeper into this. There's so much more to talk about here. Because you might ask me, why do I have to participate? Why do I have to contribute? Well, let's look at what happens when you're working. Let's look at what happens in the workplace. How do you affect the environment at work? That's one of the easiest ways to find out if you're sociable. Everyone's in on a goal. Everyone's focused on a destination, on an achievement, on an accomplishment. Suppose there are certificates to be handed out. You mean to tell me that you don't want a certificate? You don't want to win? You don't want the recognition? You don't want to celebrate? But no, all you want is the paycheck at the end of the day. Come on, sis. That doesn't sound very palatable to me. In fact, what that sounds like you're trying to ask the same questions any person would ask you if they found out that you prostitute masculinity before you even get your hands on some. But then let's drive even further into the example. So at the workplace, you don't work for recognition or achievement. And then you go home. On the way home, what are you looking at? On the way home, what are you looking out for? On the way home, what are you signaling? What are you letting people know when you walk past them? Are you telling them what went on at work? Because you know no one really wants to talk about work. So when you're walking home from work, when you're taking the bus from work, when you're taking the plane or the train from work or the taxi from work, is your body language that of a woman that says and actually answers the question of and asks the question of, what did you do for work today? How was work? You spare your girlfriends to talk about how work was. Offer a chance to hang out with your girlfriends. And then the relationship gets deeper. Maybe you actually have an intimate moment or two. No one's talking about the men. Come on, sis. Come on.